perhaps against my better judgment, I made it out on a sunset run. I say that because I listen to Morbid all day. And, well, as they say in Morbid, fresh air is for dead people. And if you don't know what that means, you gotta listen to Morbid. But I just want to show you one of the cool things about being out in the country. It's hilly out here. So, hear that? So I just went for a short little run because I'm not conditioned for running on hills. They're staring at me like, what the hell are you doing walking by our house? Hi. They just seriously stopped in the middle of chewing to stare at me. They're like, we will fuck you up. We're gentle giants, but we will fuck you up. I think that's what they might be thinking. And I was also concerned about, here, I want you to see the sunset. I was also concerned about the red-winged blackbirds attacking me because they are crazy out here. Good times. You won't normally ever see me filming while my truck is running, but right now I'm actually in the middle of my air brake test. And one of the habits that I've gotten into, because we have to use every minute that we possibly can, is when I'm doing my air brake test and I've pumped down slowly, correctly. I've just switched to a new trailer, so it's really important that I do the air brake test to make sure that the brake lines are connected properly, that there's no air leaks, you know, everything is good. And while I take the time to let the air pressure build back up, which it's almost where it needs to be, I make myself a snack to eat on the road on the way back. I try to make the most of every minute that I have because that's the only way to get through a day on the particular fucking account that I'm working on. There's my air pressure. So that's how I know that my brakes are safe for me to drive on a trailer I just switched to because I just did a drop and hook. So I'm going to continue making my peanut butter sandwich, and I'm going to skedaddle. And of course, carrots and it's buried in here, but clementine, which are not that seasonal right now, and they're just okay. And some greens to go with my sandwich accoutrement. What's up, guys? I am just finished up with the delivery, and I got really, really lucky. It's the third store in a row between yesterday and today that I've gone to where I've been fortunate to have an employee who is on the ball and actually has a sense of urgency and understands that you're there to do a job. It's like a miracle. And I was chatting with her, and she was talking about how, yeah, these kids like hide in the bathroom when a truck arrives for them to unload and whatnot. So anyway, I am only doing one load today. I told them I only wanted to do one, and they were like, oh, that's fine, there's only one for you. And it's Sunday. Tomorrow's the day I go home. And I am exhausted because the way that this job works, the way this account works that I'm on, you have to work for 14 hours. You have to be on 14 hours straight, and you don't have breaks, you know. And I think a lot of people would be like, oh, well, you know, you're sitting and you can eat while you're driving, and that's not a fucking break. So there's so much on my mind about it, but I'm really not wanting to just like kind of rehash things or like sound like I'm constantly, oh, this weird camera angle, by the way, is because I'm trying not to be like, here's where I just delivered to, so I'm showing you the other view. But I saw that there's a Popeyes by this store, and women cannot live on peanut butter sandwiches alone, which is pretty much what I've been living on. I haven't been, you know, getting the best stuff to eat because there's just not enough time. And when I am done for the day, I have so little time to like wind down before I go to bed, and I only have 6 hours to sleep, so it's like I don't even want to take the time to like get food somehow or make food. So I'm doing like last night I had bought a bagged Caesar salad, and I had like this chicken sausage, so I had that for dinner, and that was like some, you know, okay. But it's like when you're working this many hours, you stop caring about food because you're just trying to kind of, you go into survival mode. You're just trying to hang in there. So I'm very much looking forward to, I should have the camera here. I'll have it at a really weird angle. I'm very much looking forward to leaving this job. I don't know that I'll be in a position that's much better than this next, but it does pay better. That I know. So what I'm doing is punishing and the pay is terrible. So I started to really think, and I don't think I'm far off, that it's intentional. And I'm at a company where the turnover is part of the business model, which is crazy, but whatever. If they did it differently, they wouldn't have as much turnover, and I'm sure they know that. So it's crazy what companies do for a profit margin for shareholders. And holy rant, I could go on. I can smell the chicken. I'm like, where is this place again? It just feels good to walk, so I kind of don't care if I go out of my way and have to double back. But I am going home tomorrow, and then I'm working at Lollapalooza this weekend, which is pretty grueling, not gonna lie. Being on my feet it's like the opposite grueling of what I've been doing. Instead of sitting, I'll be on my feet. But honestly, that's gonna feel good. Fucking bring it. So that's about that. Today has been a day of foibles, and sometimes all you can do is laugh at yourself. It started with realizing after I got up with not enough sleep, took a shower, and checked my tablet and realized I never went off duty last night. I left myself in yard move, had a minor freak out. It ended up being no big deal. As anybody who drives knows, it's not a big deal. Then I made my oatmeal that I eat every morning. I dumped the entire bowl on my driver's seat, and it was before the water really soaked into the oats. Yeah, so that was cool. So I'm sitting on a towel now. Like, what did I show you? There's my garbage. That's nice. And then I had time, so I'm like, I'm going to go get myself a chicken sandwich. And I realized my debit card's not in my pocket where it usually is. And the other pocket I just discovered inside the store, it had a hole in it. So I'd moved my stuff into the other pocket, including my phone. When I took my phone out, I was like, fuck, I must have dropped that debit card. So I'm looking everywhere for it. I go to the customer service desk. I'm retracing my steps. Don't find it. I'm like planning, okay, I'm going to go on my bank app, and I got to change over all kinds of shit now because it's going to be a new card number and all blah, 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 blah. I checked my other shorts, and that's where it was. What a dum-dum. Sometimes you got to laugh at your shit, man. Sometimes you do dumb shit. We all do, because that's called being human. You got to make fun of yourself. I'm having a dumb day. Might have something to do with sleep deprivation, just a little. But I got myself a chicken sandwich. I'm going to eat it, and I'm happy because I don't have to race my ass off today. I'm so grateful for a slower day. Man, do I need it. Predictable morning from home. Today is the last chance I'll have to paddle for a few days because someone is enjoying some morning marijuana I smell. Nothing wrong with that, unless you have CDL. Anyway, I digress. Because I'm working Lollapalooza the next 4 days, and I think some people might be wondering, like, how are you working Lollapalooza? Well, I had arranged before with my company to have that week off, and I kind of got lucky that they agreed to it. I worked it last year, and I knew I was going to be asked to work it again this year. I knew that by the time it rolled around, I would be really ready to like take a break from what I've been doing. This kid is really cute. And I'm right on about that, because working Lollapalooza is really, really exhausting, but it's fun at the same time. But I was just looking over the lineup, and I was like, holy shit, that'll make you feel old, because I recognize like a handful of the acts out of dozens. I have no idea who so many of them are, because it's just a younger demographic now with totally different musical tastes. But also it trips me out because I really remember when Lollapalooza first started, the first year, the bands that were a part of it, it was like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and like Jane's Addiction and I think Mudhoney and like all these kind of like dope fucking Seattle band, rock, alternative, grungy, whatever. It also makes me think that the original quote-unquote grunge artists hated the term grunge. It was like not something they invented for themselves. It was like put on them. But so many great bands, but a small fest, and it was traveling. It used to be a traveling festival, I think, for the first couple of years. I could be wrong. And then it became like every year in one place, and I love that it's in Chicago. Fun side note, I met Perry Farrell paddleboarding at Montrose Beach once. I normally don't like to meet famous people. I just feel like awkward, so I stay away from them because I'm sure they get bombarded enough. I was paddling back in, and one of the Kayak Chicago guys was like, that's Perry Farrell paddleboarding. And I was like, oh shit. And he was with his wife, who was like this super hot babe, of course. And and I awkwardly paddled over to him and said, thank you for your music, or something stupid. It was very awkward, and I regretted it immediately, because I was like, this poor guy is just trying to enjoy a paddle session, and here comes some rando. Like, he can't even escape on the water. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you a funny experience that just now happened. I was walking, and I crossed paths with this older man, and I'm pretty sure this is the same person who did this before, and it was like a year ago. And he just a year ago, he spat out some insult at me that I think was in Russian. Didn't say anything to me in English. And I recognized the word enough to look it up, and it meant something like whore or like bitch or something like that. And then just now I was crossing paths with him, and I didn't even recognize it was the same guy until he said another something else insult to me, 2 words in another Eastern European sounding language. And I was like, okay. And I just laughed at him. I was like, this guy has a fucking problem, man. Isn't that weird? I think he's a little off. I'm not taking it personally. What does he know? He doesn't know how fucking great I am. I'm just kidding. But yeah, here's today's PSA. Don't give random insults to strangers that you're crossing on the street in another language. It's rude. Hey, so I'm heading over to visit with my former roommate. Hi, Robert. I know you're watching this. And I'm going to stop and pick up lottery tickets on the way, because today is that Mega Millions drawing for like $1 billion. And it made me want to ask you, viewers, what would you do if you won, right? What would you do with that? I have a variety of ideas, but like one of the things I daydream about, other than just paying off all my student loans in a fell swoop, and it would be kind of fun to like send a truckload of pennies as like the payment. It's legal tender. I mean, I don't think they would let you do that, but anyway, there's a squirrel on the sidewalk that's just like standing there. He wants to have a face off. Hi. He's like, you got a snack? You're very tame. You see that? I wonder if that was captured in my video. That's really cute. I think someone has been giving snacks to this little guy. That's cute. They kind of are like rats, but anyway. Of course, after paying off my student loans and like, buying my mom a house and shit like that, I would just want to give most of it away. And that's not me like trying to sound like I'm some perfect person or some shit like that, but you know how people, when they win the lottery, like really bad shit happens to a lot of them a lot of the time. So I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just get rid of it. Just be out of debt and get rid of the extra money. Just keep a little bit, just enough so that you're not having to be totally stressed. It's kind of exciting to think about, but also like when I think about winning and how many bad things have happened to people who did win, I think maybe it's better to not win and just to focus on being grateful for what you do have. You know, like your health, there's nothing more valuable than that, truly. Okay, I got my lottery ticket. You know what else I would want to do is like not just pay off my student loans, but I've always daydreamed about paying off a bunch of other people's student loans, because when you have that debt hanging over your head, it just feels like it makes moving forward in your life impossible. And like so many of us got into debt not realizing what we were doing as we were young and didn't understand money like me. I had no real education on like how to manage myself financially. Couldn't even manage a bank account, like a checking account, let alone tens of thousands of dollars in student loans. And a lot of us, like especially at the time I was in school, I think the mentality then was different in the 90s, where it was like, you don't question whether or not to go to college, you just have to go. Like you can't get a job unless you do it. And that's your mindset. And it was true then. I think things are different now that things are with the internet, and like so many people can just be innovative using technology and make money without necessarily having a degree. And you get student loans paid off, and you get student loans paid off. That would be like a dream come true. And that to me would be more satisfying than like buying a nice car. Although you guys will laugh when I tell you what my dream car is. I really want a Civic Type R. I really like me a little like hot hatch. And I'm not sorry, because I would look good in that thing and it'd be fast and fun to drive. All right, so one last little clip. I am starting Lollapalooza tomorrow, or Lollapalooza is starting tomorrow. I'll be working there, and then after that, some big changes coming up. So I will get some video at Lollapalooza for you guys, and looking forward to the change of scenery, seeing friends from last year. We had a blast working together, and I know it's going to be good this year too. But yeah, I will let you know what's coming up, but going to be some changes, and hopefully for the better. And I will keep you apprised of all the developments. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.